Hi, everybody. Exciting news. We are starting a new story today. It is called December Secrets, and it's by a very well known author, Patricia Reilly Giff. Chapter 1. Emily Arrow bit down on her pencil. Then she started to write. The firefighter is your friend. He puts out fires. He comes to school. He takes you for a ride in his Turk. Something didn't look right. Emily raised her hand. How do you spell truck? She asked Miss Rooney. Good question, Emily, said Miss Rooney. She wrote truck on the blackboard. The fire truck is in the schoolyard, Emily whispered to her best friend Richard Best. I can hear the sirens, Beast. Me too, Beast said. He was drawing a big red fire truck. Right then, the firefighter was giving another class a ride. One of the kids would be sitting up in the front with the firefighter, Emily thought. He'd be wearing the big black fire hat. He'd be ringing the siren. Miss Rooney's class would be next. Emily hoped she'd be in the front, wearing the big hat, ringing the siren. She was wearing her almost new pink sweatsuit. It had dark blue polka dots and a little green stain on one knee. She hoped no one would see the green stain. When they walked out to the fire truck, she was going to keep her knees together. She looked around. Don Bosco was wearing a brand new sweatsuit. It had a big D on the shirt. D for Don. It should be L for lucky, Emily thought. Don Bosco always had the best stuff. Even her middle name, Tiffany, was great. Her almost middle name. Dawn's real middle name began with an M, but she'd never tell what it was. Emily hoped it was something horrible. It's snowing out, shouted Beast. Everyone ran to the window. Jill Simon looked as if she were going to cry. Jill always looked as if she were going to cry. Maybe we can't go out to the fire truck now, she said. Shh, Emily said. Don't give Miss Rooney any ideas. Jill shook her head. She rubbed her eyes. Emily looked at her for a minute. Everything about Jill was fat. She had 4 fat braids, 2 in front, 2 in back. She was wearing 4 yellow loopy ribbons on her braids. They made her head look like a round yellow sun. But her face didn't look like the sun, Emily thought. Her face looked like a big fat rain cloud. Time to go outside, Miss Rooney said. Bundle up, it's cold out there. Emily bundled up. She wished she had a long jacket, long enough to cover the green stain on her knee. She took Uni, her white rubber unicorn, out of her desk. She tucked him in her pocket. She raced to get near the front of the line. She made sure she ran with her knees bent. It made her jacket look longer. She hoped the firefighter would see her up in front. She hoped he'd asked her to sit in the front seat with him and wear the fire hat. Don Bosco tapped her on the arm. Can I get ahead of you, Emily? She said. The line started down the hall. Emily made believe she hadn't heard Don. She hurried as fast as she could with her knees bent. And back of her, everyone was bunching up. Everyone wanted to get near the front. Can I? Dawn started to ask. Outside, Miss Rooney clapped her hands. We're not going to a fire, she said. The firefighter laughed. She was a woman. She helped Beast and Matthew Jackson climb up on the side of the truck. Emily was next. Dawn quickly moved in front of Emily. Hey! Emily said. But the firefighter put Dawn up on the side of the truck. You're next, she said to Emily. Can I sit in the front? she asked. Why not? She said. She let Emily climb up into the front seat. Jill Simon started to cry. What's the matter? The firefighter asked. I wanted to sit in front, Jill said. Big baby, Emily wanted to say. Oh, plenty of room, the firefighter said. Move over a little, she told Emily. Emily moved over an inch. Jill squeezed in next to her. Can I wear the hat too? She asked the firefighter. Hey, Emily said. The firefighter put the big black hat on Jill. She swung into the seat. Emily looked at Jill. She looked big and fat with the hat on her head. She looked silly with all those yellow ribbons hanging out under the hat. Emily looked down. She could see the stain on her knee. It looked very green. She sighed. She'd have to wait a whole year before the fire truck came back to the Polk Street School. She'd have to wait another year for a chance at the fire hat.